G'day. Welcome to NAC TV's Coffee Chat. My name's Lyle Watson, and we're pleased to have two special guests with us today. And we're going to be talking about some of the things that are upcoming with the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation here in Nepal, and a special event that's starting this week. And we're pleased to welcome the president of the Beautiful Plains Community Board, Brent Sorenson. Brent, welcome to Coffee Chat.
Thank you.
And joining us today is Thomson. He is the treasurer for Beautiful Plains Credit Union.
That's no longer in existence.
Beautiful Plains Community Foundation. Sorry about that. Anyways, welcome Brent and Ian, and we look forward to having a little chat and what's coming up and what's happening with the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation.
For sure.
But first, I'd like to say is that of all the things that have happened in the last couple of years with the pandemic and everything around the world, there's some very good positive things that have happened in Nepal and our surrounding district. And one of the positive things is the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation and how it has served this community. And it's just an exciting part of our community and will be for many years to come. Brent, I was just wondering, you have a board of directors, and how long has the Community Foundation been operating in Nepal? And maybe if you could review your board for us and introduce them to the viewers.
For sure. So the Community Foundation started in 1995. I think we were incorporated in 94, gave out our first grants in 1995. As many will know, we celebrated our 25th anniversary last year with a number of special events that are special fundraising or funding items that went on. So that's kind of when we've been around. Our board this year consists of myself as president, Brent Sorenson. Jeff Miner is our vice president. Ian Thomson here is our treasurer. Then we have Keith Jury, Sarah Fast, Ashley McCoggan, Ann Kaharski, Iris Cooting, Jack Falk, and Terry Buechler as our board members. And Marilyn Crew. Pardon me, I forgot about Marilyn. I knew there was one more. So that is our volunteer board. And I'll be honest, we wouldn't be anything without our executive director, Brenda Krischuk, who does a tremendous job for us and keeps us all in line and makes sure that we do what we're supposed to do on a daily basis. Well, makes our job very easy.
On behalf of our viewers and Neepawan District, I'd just like to express a thank you and our appreciation for all the work that you do as volunteer board here for the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation. Ian, being the treasurer, how are things looking financially, and how does it compare over the last 25 years? Are we still growing at a pretty good pace?
We're growing at a great pace, actually. So as far as the foundation goes, we sort of have two separate things that we sort of look after on a daily basis. One is our operational activities, and from an operational standpoint, we're very well funded currently. We're funded to an extent that we're actually able to put a lot of our administration, additional revenues and that sort of back into community funds and grants around the community. So we're very lucky that way. I've been very fortunate to come through this pandemic couple of years here in good shape, not doing as many events and that as we would all like to, of course, but we're doing great. And then from the second standpoint would be sort of our endowment funds. And our endowment funds, they're sort of comprised of two sets, one being our community fund. So it's sort of our general fund that people can donate just funds to the foundation without directing it to anything specific.
Oh yes. Yep.
And then we have several dedicated endowment funds that are started for various causes, and people can donate to those funds specifically if they choose. And so every year we're able to grant back both funds out of our community fund and our dedicated funds to the various organizations. The community fund, of course, just to general grant applications that come in on an annual basis, and our dedicated funds to those specific purposes.
Yep.
Overall, our funds right now are sitting at approximately $4.6 million. Not only is we've weathered through the pandemic, but the markets have been very good to us over the last couple of years as well.
Yeah.
We just finally broke $4 million
Yeah.
in our endowment funds about a year or so, and that was a milestone for us.
Wow.
And
That's quite a milestone.
very big one. And now we're actually sitting at the 4.6 and hopefully closing on the 5 million, which would be a huge milestone.
Has the low interest rates that have been in effect in our economy the last year or two, has that had any effect on your?
Not so much. A lot of our funds, or actually all of our endowment funds, are held with the Winnipeg Foundation.
Yes.
And it's sort of I guess a mandate or something that they offer to all of the various community foundations in the province, that our funds are able to go there, and they actually have some dedicated fund managers that look after it for us.
Yes.
So we've got a excellent set of professionals that even though the interest rates and that might be fairly low, they have some investment opportunities that would not be available to us as a foundation on our own.
Yeah.
So our returns on the investments have been
Well, that's good.
exceptional
That's good
thanks
to
to
hear.
them.
Brent, you've had a couple, you have some special events throughout the year to bring the recognition of Beautiful Plains Community Foundation to our community and district. One of them is the land project. Could you just give us a bit of background on that one?
Yeah, actually, that's a project. 2021 was our first year with that. I'm going to say somewhat in conjunction with the town of Nepal. It's town-owned land that we were able to come up with an agreement on, and we had a number of area businesses and individuals support us with whether it be seed, fertilizer, chemical, any other crop inputs, or some cash donations towards it. And this year wasn't a great year from a harvest standpoint, but it's going to turn out to be a pretty good year overall for it. All things considered, we started with a bunch of grassland essentially that hadn't been farmed for a few years. So
That's owned by the town?
it is town and Nepal property out in there in the industrial lots by Rocky Mountain.
Oh, yes.
Equipment that are developed out there are ready for sale. So we had 42 or 43 acres that we seeded down to canola this year out there, and say we had area farmers and businesses that supported us. Quite a number of them. There'll be a list.
Yeah, if we want to give a shout
Ian
out,
wants to go ahead and
we're
shout them out there. He's got the paper in front of him.
we were very generous support on their part, and we couldn't have done this without them. And not only our project, but these businesses donate both their time and funds to various organizations within town. So we're
take a
very
moment to
fortunate
read
to have
them out, Ian, first.
Yeah, we've got first off the Nepal Fire Department. So they did a nice controlled burn to get us going out there. TIC cultivated the land. Farmer's Edge and Jamie Denbo in particular did a lot of consulting on the various crop and fertilizers. Suregrow Farm Services and Monroe Farm Supplies. We received some financial support from Penno's Machining, John's Electric, Nepal Home Hardware, Dairy Queen, Interlake Salvage and Recycling, and Nepal Fresh Mart. Kilbaki Seeds donated the canola seed for us.
Wow.
Ken Lindsay, some seeding and fertilizing. Nepal Gladstone Co-op, spraying and equipment. JMD Farms, equipment and spraying. Mazer Group of Nepal and Rocky Mountain, of course. Dunkoff Transport is going to do our hauling of the canola for us. And Mr. Joe Jakubowski did some drying and storage. Lastly on my list here, Mardi supplied the fuel.
Wow.
Yeah, so a very collective effort.
And that's just a prime example how our community and our district comes to support a community event, and that's a good example and very much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Now, the crop you grew, what did you grow on that?
We had canola this year. As I said, it wasn't a great year for growing canola. I think we pulled off right around 800 bushels, but prices are very favorable, and Jack Falk kind of took this one as a lead from a board perspective and has got it marketed to P&H,
Yep.
Parrish and Heimbacher, or not P&H, pardon me. That Dundonald's not P&H. Yeah, it is maybe. It's going to Dundonald anyhow. Not sure what the elevator is there now.
Richards?
Yeah, I think maybe Richardson at Dundonald. So they are going to be buying it here whenever Duncalf Transport can pick it up from the Jakubowski farm and take it there for us. But and they've given some added incentive to us as a non-profit organization on the price, so that's been very generous of them as well. So all in all, it's going to turn out it's going to be a profitable little venture for us this year. All thank you to our sponsors and patrons that Ian read off. Their support was very much appreciated, and our out-of-pocket expenses were minimized because of that to make this all a successful event.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad that it worked out, and I know what the price of canola is worth a bushel this year compared to previous years. So even though the yield was low, I think it'll be successful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There's an upcoming event at Arts Forward, and you people will be talking and inviting people to come and talk about applying for grants and nonprofit organizations. Could you give us a bit of background on that?
Yes, we've this is, I think, our third year, kind of interrupted with COVID last year a little bit, of running a Lunch and Learn series. We have ran 3 previously, and one of them was a grant writing workshop, which we are doing again on the 25th of November. So anybody who is interested in learning how to write grants or for your nonprofit organizations to better secure funding, Marilyn Crew and Brenda Krischuk are going to be going through the various steps to show you how to better write a grant and write grants in a way that attract the attention of the people that you're sending them to, all with the intent of trying to help our organizations in the Beautiful Plains area generate more funding for themselves. So that's the first, I guess, edition of the Lunch and Learn series this year. There's only 20 seats available, and right now I think we've got 8 signed up. So if you're interested, please contact Brenda at the BPCF office. She either email or phone. She will mark you down and have a seat there for you. She'll have more information on that one as well. And coming forward, not sure, we haven't finalized a date yet. We are looking at doing a Facebook workshop for nonprofits, kind of helping them develop a social media presence, get their nonprofit, their cause out there a little more in the community for everyone to see and learn about, and hopefully generate some more support for them in that regard. Yep. And I know there is a couple others being talked about, not really anything finalized at this point, but the Facebook one will be happening. I'm not sure if it'll be before Christmas or just into the new year that happens, and then watch for some more as we go. I think the intention is to hit 4 or 5 different workshops, hour and a half long workshops over the course of the next 6 months, I'm going to say.
So the more applications you have, the better you like it.
Yes, yep, absolutely. I mean, if we can do them for 20 to 25 people, that's great. Obviously, we're not going to bring someone in for 2 or 3 people. It's just not, we are paying the presenters, so yes. It's not something that we can justifiably do for 2 or 3 people, but if we can get 20 to 25 people at these, that's ideal, and it's all about trying to help the nonprofit organizations in Nipawin and areas better develop their overall board position and their aspects or opportunities to gain funding. Yeah. That's the biggest thing for so many, is the restrictions in the funding available to them. So we're looking to support them in any way we can. We can't always do it financially, unfortunately. If we could, it would be great. But if we can help them develop their skills as board members and as a board as a whole, all the better.
And a great way to engage people.
Absolutely, yes.
And of course, that's what Beautiful Plains Community Foundation does. It engages people in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And one of the ways is the Giving Day, which started a few years ago, and now you've got a new perspective of that. Ian, could you tell us about that a bit?
Yeah, sort of our Giving Week right now. So it started today, Lyle, and it's going to extend until November 21st here. And like you mentioned, started in 2014 as one day. And again, it's not only the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation, but it's all of the various community foundations across the province of Manitoba. Both the province and the Winnipeg Foundation have sort of stepped up to do some matching for us. So as we receive funds this week, we get some matching dollars. So for every $5 that we're able to pull in, it's matched by an extra $2. from the Winnipeg Foundation and the province, to a maximum of $10,000, I believe, Brent. Right, so
Yeah.
$2,000 of maximum matching.
Yeah.
So that's always our minimum target goal for this week, is to try and hit that $10,000 level and get as much as matching funds as we can from the matching organizations. And we've actually been very, very successful at this week challenge since its inception.
Yeah. So that new program, the Giving Week,
Yes,
starts today
starts today
and runs through till
November 21st.
November 21st. So
Saturday.
it's,
It always ends on a Saturday. So
okay.
yeah, this coming Saturday, so Monday to Saturday this year. Donations can be done, I think, online through the Endowment Manitoba website if you're one of the people that likes to just do it online with a credit card.
Yep.
Or you can drop them off at the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation office. Brenda will be there Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, accepting donations. So there'll be people there, so you can certainly drop off your checks those days as well. And I mean, if those days don't work, contact Brenda and we will make arrangements to make sure we can gather your funds from you. Any support is generously appreciated and helps us in supporting other organizations going forward each year through our granting process. So.
Yep. And being that it's getting near the end of the year, and I'll ask you, Ian, Beautiful Plains Community Foundation is a tax-deducted charitable organization.
We are a charitable organization. Yep. So any gifts that people are willing to make, we do offer tax receipts to go with them, which definitely can be used on your tax return at the end of the year. And for most people, you receive that nice little benefit from the government as well.
Yeah. And, you know, it's the season of giving coming up with the Christmas season coming, and it's something that we can all reflect on. This week, it might be an opportune time to leave a donation. Doesn't matter how big it is, but
Absolutely.
to donate some amount of money to the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation.
Every dollar counts.
Yeah, and this has been a very, very successful event for the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation over the past number of years. We've had years where we've had $50,000 generated through the Giving Challenge.
Really?
The last couple of years, we were right around the $40,000 mark annually, including the $4,000 that we get matched, $2,000 from the Winnipeg Foundation, $2,000 from Endowment Manitoba on the first 10. So our community has generally been $30,000 to $40,000 a year provided to the Community Foundation through this event. So it is our biggest fundraiser for the year. Without a doubt, the week that we see more donations come in than any other time in the year. And it's great that we have the support from the Winnipeg Foundation and Endowment Manitoba to provide some extra incentive for this week. So,
and just to reflect on the more money you make and the bigger your investment portfolio gets, the more money you give back to the community, not only for this year, but for many, many, many years to come.
Yes, yeah. All our funds are held in an endowment fund, which they are there in perpetuity. And so what we do, we grant back out of our investment gains each year for
About 4%.
about 4% back to the community.
4%.
So of that $4.6 million that we hold in various endowment funds, 4% of that will be returned to the community each year. About $65,000 to $70,000 is available for out of our general fund for our grant process each year. The balance of that goes out in designated funds, which are to things such as there's one for the Hospital Foundation, Touchwood Park, the care home. Different art organizations have designated funds. One for Margaret Lawrence Home. So there's lots of designated funds there that people can donate to as well.
Yep.
And any funds and any money coming out of those funds go directly to the organization or entity that they are designated for.
Yep.
So there's some very good money comes back to things such as the hospital, for equipment purchases, the care home,
Yep.
organizations like that have seen big returns over the last number of years, coming to them on an annual basis.
Yeah.
Brent, could you just expand a bit on the endowment fund? For instance, if I wanted to donate in the name of my family and designate the funds from that donation to a specific cause, could you just expand on that a bit, please?
So what that is, as I said, we've got funds such as the Hospital Foundation, Care Home, Touchwood Park, Margaret Lawrence Home. So there's a number of them. I think there's 15 different scholarship funds that we have as well that we manage and go to high school students every year upon graduation. And so if you were to open up one, you could open up a designated fund where your funding goes to an organization of your choice. And what it would do, your money or your donation would go into that fund, and then it would sit there, and each year 4% of the return off of that donation would be granted back to that organization. And if you don't have an organization of choice, it goes into our community fund, and that's where all of our grant applications, all the money comes from for those is out of our community fund. So, and we've had very significant requests out of that in the last number of years. Unfortunately, we can't meet everyone's request.
Yeah.
The money there is a limit under the funds we have, but the more we gain in donations, the more we can help support all these requests coming in.
Yeah.
Ian, would that be someplace in estate planning that people could talk about and planning their estates and leaving an endowment fund to the Beautiful Plains community?
Absolutely, and lots of people are beginning to think that way, Lyle. So, consult with your local tax advisor, your lawyer. Anyone's more than welcome to come down and give me a call or stop by the office. I'd be more than happy to chat with them and give them a little bit of information about it. But yeah, it's a great way to leave a legacy, really, right?
Yeah.
So either as a donation to the community fund itself, or as you mentioned, a designated fund that you could establish, and those funds would get returned to that cause forever.
Yeah, maybe that's something we could all think about as we go through life and this journey of life, and think about the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation.
Absolutely.
Back to the specific this week of Giving Week, and our time is getting a little short. And Brent, I'm going to ask you, and then I'll ask you to sum up your thoughts about the Giving Week and how we can get people's participation in giving this week to the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation.
That's a great question, Lyle. Honestly, the biggest thing this week for everyone to remember, it is essentially you get an extra, your donation, your $1,000 donation turns into $1,400 if you're on the first within the first $10,000. So it's a way for an individual, regardless of what size of donation it is, to make their donation go that much further within the community. Donating this week, so yeah, you make a $100 donation this week, it turns into $140 for the community foundation, which then we can grant out. So it is a great week to see the donations come in just on that basis alone. It's always nice when you can turn your donation, whatever size it is, into something bigger for your community just because you've donated at a certain time of the year. So we realize that everybody's got a little bit of extra expense coming up, but we certainly do appreciate any support that can be given to the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation at this time too.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of about the appreciation of the Neepawan district, our community, the residents. Ian, where does the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation fit into investment and total monies gathered compared to the rest of the foundations across Manitoba? They do very well, don't they?
During this week, the Beautiful Plain Community Foundation does particularly well. Brenda's sort of been keeping track of it, and wish she was here today to do a little bit of bragging on our part. She's our greatest advocate, of course, but we've consistently been in the top 10 community foundations across Manitoba. And there's been several years where we've actually exceeded community foundations like Brandon. So something to be really proud of. I think it speaks a lot to the community and their generosity. So again, for this week, we'd like to reach out to everybody and ask for their support one more time, and let's get that maximum matching from Endowment Manitoba and that, and reach that $10,000 limit. I think would be great. And just again, as far as making those donations go, anyone can stop by the office at 487 Walker.
Yes.
Brenda will be there on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Or they can make their donation online through endowmanitoba.ca.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I thank you very much, Ian and Brent, for joining us today. Brent, do you have any further comments you'd like to make about the upcoming week and the foundation? And
no, I mean the week is what it is. It's a great week for us. It's our primary fundraising week, without a doubt, for the year. And the foundation overall, I'll be honest, it's a great way to be involved in the community. It's a great way to be able to support multiple organizations in one volunteer opportunity, I guess. We're always looking for board members, and so I will throw that out there. But you can impact many organizations in a year sitting on the foundation board. If you don't have a specific interest, but you want to help out in any way you can, it is a great board for that. We've got a great group of people. As the president, it makes my job very easy to continue on. We do have a very great board right now, and like I say, we're always looking for new board members. We do limit our time on the board to 6 years, so there's a constant turnover. But So yeah, it's somewhere that is very rewarding, and this week only helps to further cement that when you see the support from the community come in. So.
And on that note, Brent, on behalf of Nipawin District community and our viewers of NAC TV, we would like to thank you and your board for the work that you do and the success that Beautiful Plains Community Foundation enjoys, because the more successful it is, the more successful our nonprofits, and it makes our community a better place to live. And
absolutely.
so we thank you, Brent and Ian, for joining us today. And to our viewers, we ask that you take a moment and consider a donation this week to the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation. And Ian has indicated where those donations can be dropped off. If in doubt, just phone Brenda Krychuk at Beautiful Plains Community Foundation, and they'll get it one way or the other. So again, thank you for watching. My name is Lyle Watson. Until next time, have a good day.